Hey there guys, welcome back for another unboxing video. It is a large unboxing, a massive one this. Me over the box. And we'll get a camera in position so that we can see. I want to say a huge thank you to Michael at, just make sure I get the thing right, Von Browse Publishing. Yep, Von Browse Publishing, for sending me this game a month or so, and I looked into it, and I'll go more into the game in just a few minutes, but I looked into it, thought that it looks really interesting, looks like a great product, and it's to see if he would send me the core game, so just, you know, the base elements that you need to play the game, and he said yeah, no problem, and it looks like they have sent me a little bit more. Huge thank you to you. If you're interested in watching this video, I'll post some links down in the video description for the website for the game and the shop, which could be accessed through that website as well. I'll post some links down there, and you can have a look at purchasing it for yourself. So yeah, let me get this box unboxed and we will have a look. So you can see there is a little bit of damage on the front there. I peeked through that hole. It doesn't look like anything inside was damaged, but obviously if we can get the tape off of this. So this is massive. I can't believe how big this box is. Okay, lots of bubble wrap packaging. That's great. Let's move this, if we can get this off the desk. Okay. So now you can see me a bit better. So first of all, in this we've got outdoor tile. Now if some of you recognize this tile, then you're going to know what game this is. This is League of Dungeoneers. So yeah, we got an outdoor tile. The reason they post this one, put this one in, is it's for the expansion, which I was not expecting to receive, but it's for the expansion. Look at this. This is heavy and it's just an expansion, but it's for this. The one inside here apparently was printed at the wrong scale, the wrong size. It's not a problem. It's slightly larger, so you may like that, slightly larger grids. So they've given, you get a free one, a replacement for it. When you order on the website, I'm not 100% sure if they will include that, but you can order this for free on the website as long as you put it in with your order. It doesn't increase postage and packaging, and you don't have to pay for it. It is free, but just remember, if you order the false profit, you will need to put this on your order as well, and it won't cost anything. If you order this at a later time on its own, you will have to pay shipping for it. It will still be free to buy this, as far as I'm aware, but you'll have to pay shipping. So best when you order this, just remember to order one of these. So we've got an outdoor tile, I believe 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12, yes, so 12 by 12 grid for outdoor. We will look at this bit in a minute. I want to get through the core game with you guys first. So we then have, oh Jesus, if I can get it out. So we then have this with a few extras, and what do we have here? Is this a, yeah, this is a dispatch note. So we've also got 2 cards here. Now I believe, again, you can order these. This is the legendary items and an exploration card. They are replacements for what is in the game. This was a Kickstarter, or not Kickstarter, sorry, different company, Game Found. It was a it was very successful. A few years ago was a print and play. Obviously much cheaper because you bought a PDF and you printed tables, the rules and tables and everything else, and it was a dice rolling system. You roll the dice, check your table, and that is what happens. For version 2, Michael went the extra 10 miles. But you can use the cards, meaning the tables are just more for reference. Exploration cards that you draw from to create the dungeon as you go through it. We have legendary items. They're basically everything in card form, which is much easier, much more fun to draw a card and see what you get. Kickstart, it's just the general loose term of a backers campaign. It was actually on GameFound. So yeah, he created that, very successful. Miss it. I didn't hear about this game until about 2-3 months ago. Looked at it properly earlier this month, and yeah, I can't believe I missed it. Recently it was a reprint, so a second print. Anyway, I'm starting to ramble here. I'm just trying to get as much info across to you guys as possible. Although the campaign has ended and the backers have all got their copies now, they are still selling the copies or product on the shop. So the available products are the Queen's Edition, Knave Edition. Now the Knave Edition is it's the core game, some of the books, and you know, all the extras that you need to play the game. The Queen's Edition basically comes with luxury upgrades, is what we'll call them. And Michael was brilliant to send me the Queen's Edition. The backing campaign actually had the King's Edition, which included the expansion as well. So the fact that he did the expansion for me with the Queen's Edition, awesome. And looking at this, he has also sent me the tracker boards. So these are, I won't call them 3D, but they are essentially 3D tracker boards. You use the little cubes, put them in to track your HP, you know, all your stats, your mana and things like that. So you get 4 of these. Again, you can purchase this on the website. Otherwise, if you don't, it does come with sheets that you track it all on anyway. This is just a luxury item, but you can purchase this separate on the website. So Michael, thank you ever so much. Awesome. Now, let's get into this. So the way I'm going to do this unboxing for you guys, hopefully we are getting an okay signal there with the Wi-Fi and that. But the way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to have a look what comes in it, obviously. And I will pull out all the Queen's stuff first, and then I'll show you the Knave version. That way you can extra if you go for the upgraded version. So this is one of them. We get, hopefully we can get this on camera, a nice neoprene mat. Now it has been folded, it's got a couple of creases, but neoprene, you leave that for an hour and those creases will flatten themselves out. Neoprene being a slightly stretchy fabric, water resistant, as you can spill your drinks and not have to worry about it. So this map, we get it the right way around, is the game world. It is the world that Michael has created, or a portion of it that Michael has created. It's a hex grid, and you will move a token on here to represent you traveling across the land to the various towns and cities and stuff, and locations that are on the map, and those locations is where you'll play the quests. So I haven't mentioned this is a dungeon crawler. It uses what I call the D20 system. If you play Dungeons and Dragons, it's the one where you get the D20, the D4, the D6, all the dice, and you get to throw all the lovely clatter things about. Oh, there is a lot of packaging with this, and we are another box within a box within a box. Okay, give me a minute, guys. Oh, good job it's recycling day tomorrow. So we now have the actual box. So packaging on point. The fact that I had the outer box damaged, the box was just in, stopped this from getting damaged. So brilliant packaging there. Definitely needed it. Couriers were obviously a little bit rough. So this is currently available in the UK. They have a UK hub. You have to order from the hub for the country that you're in, the area that you're in, the distribution area. So you've got UK, Europe or the EU, Canada, America and Australia. Now at the moment, last checked the store, Europe has plenty of copies of both the Knave and the Queen version. The UK has plenty of copies of the Knave version. But obviously do check, assuming that they do periodically restock. America, at the minute, Michael did post something on the Facebook page a while back, that unfortunately due to Trump's whole tariff thing, it's been very difficult for any small business to get anything into America, including Michael with League of Dungeoneers. He's trying to find alternatives and workarounds to get it there, but I think I think it is just going to be a case of holding out until Trump's out of office and things go back to the way they should be. Not trying to get into politics here, that's just me personally. You know, Michael, again, he did say when he posted it, he doesn't want to get into politics. It is just what it is. The tariffs thing is making it difficult for everybody, and that's it. So you can see here, this thing is overflowing with content. We have dungeon tiles, we have punch out tokens, a lot. I'm gonna go now. This may be a long video, you can check the time, or it's a two-parter. I'm not 100% sure. I want to try and keep it to about 45 minutes. If we go over, then I'll probably break it into two episodes. But we'll have a look. Both of them should be available whilst you're watching this. So first of all, we've got a bunch of outdoor tiles. What I plan to do with this guy is, obviously we're doing this unboxing, show you how to play out the missions, the starting quest, how to create characters and things like that. Yeah, I've got some content that I do plan on doing for this, so hopefully you guys will enjoy it. So these tiles, double-sided, they are all 12 by 12 inches. So we've got a sort of a desert theme with like a temple there. We've got like a forest sort of clearing, like a sacrifice table, sacrificial stone here. Not a campsite, a town square, or like looks like we've got a small grave area here, so it looks like it leads to a crypt there. Apologies if you can hear the fan, it is sweltering here. It gets very hot in this room. I'm going to die in this state because I'm old. But, hopefully you guys will forgive that. So we've got a little woodland trail and a sort of more sparse open area. We've got a little field, some more desert theme. Now I believe that the edition, or this version, comes with a second expansion. So the False Prophet is technically the third expansion. With, I can't remember the name of it, there is a second expansion, so there's a total of 3 quest campaigns, but we'll have a look at that. But that's what the desert's. So then we've got another little road and some more open area. We've got a crossroads and an area with trees, fallen trees and stuff. Now these do count as terrain. You can either put some 3D terrain on top if you wanted to do that. I know that a lot of people with the dungeon stuff are building 3D dungeon tiles, 3D printed tiles and stuff. I may go with that, or I may just use 3D props that we'll place down. So I'll place some trees over here, you know, fallen logs to give it a little bit of a lift, using the dungeon tiles or the terrain tiles as a base. Then we've got a cool little pond there and an open stone area with, looks like that would be the entrance going through some thorny brambles. So those are the tiles that I had at the front here. Is for the false prophet. The prophet, good old band, apart from, if you know, you know. Tiles, lots of outdoor tiles. Then we have tokens. So this whole thing is designed to play out of the box, pretty much. There's obviously some things that we have to do on our part, but it comes with everything that you need to play. You can substitute things for 3D stuff, but it is, you know, you're able to play it 2D or 2.5D. So we've got some tokens here. Now I believe these ones are for the false prophet or the later quest. I can't remember, but I remember on the website, I think it is, it says that these tokens, not to worry about them in here. You don't use them for the main campaign. They are for one of the expansions, I think. So yeah, so we've got some pop-out tokens there. We've got some more here. Obviously we've got searched, we've got door trapped. So if you think there's a door that's, or you find that there's a door trapped and you don't want to open it, you can put a door trap token there. You've got a door locked with some numbers. I'm assuming you have to roll higher than these or lower than these to unlock them. We've got searched, so if you search a room or some then you can place these down to say, well, that bit's been searched, so if you come back to that room later, you know not to search it again. We've got a couple of pit traps with spikes in the bottom. We've got some bear traps. We've got a trapped treasure chest. We've got what I'm assuming are wound tokens, 1s, 5s and 10s, and then I'm assuming these are mana tokens. I have watched some gameplay, but obviously I haven't looked at everything, or those gameplay videos weren't showing every little detail. So some of it is just assumption on my part. More tokens here. So we've got some lanterns, because the light does play a big part in the dungeon, including scaring off some monsters or making them slightly weaker because they don't like light, and also making searching for things easier. We've got poison tokens, frost damage, we've got spell effects, power attacks, acid damage. If you're wounded, you get 1 less action point. We'll go through all of that in a how to play video. But yeah, you get 1 less action point. You've got dodge, stun, so you get 1 less action point on your next turn. We've got some torches in case you're poor and can't lantern. And we've got a token. Doors. So we've got a sheet of doors here. All of this, by the way, is printed on 2mm or 1.5mm card, I believe it is. It might be 2mm, but I'm sure it's 1.5. So we've got closed doors, open doors, and cobwebby doors. For 5 different types twice. So 5 unique doors, but 10 of them, and then obviously 10 open doors and 10 closed doors. So that's some of the things there. Next, we have a huge pack of standees. So we'll have a look through these. I think what I'm going to do, guys, is bring the camera over so we can get a top down, and then you can see a bit better what we're doing. So give me 1 minute, we'll flip back. Okay, that's a bit better. So the creatures, or the monsters, the enemies, whatever you want to call them, are all beautifully drawn and printed 2D. They are reversed, but on the back is the back of the monster. So we do have the front and the back. Now I will apologise, I can't remember who the artist was that did the art for the game, but obviously him, because there is some lovely artwork here. Looking at the monsters, I would say they are smaller than I prefer for my games, though. Saying that, no, they may not be. Do I have a Hero Quest mini in here? I don't think I do. I think I've put them all away now. Oh no, I do. I have a Rogue. So obviously Hero Quest is one of my favourite board games. Yeah, scale wise these are a little bit smaller. I think Hero Quest are heroic 20, no they're not heroic, they're probably maybe a little over 28mm, maybe up towards 32, whereas these guys, they're definitely more 28mm. You do get standees or bases to put them in, some large and some small bases. Obviously the majority of these creatures are going to be small. We've got things like the gigantic spider, so he's going to use a larger base. We've got a, what do we have here? Beastman Chieftain. So yeah, there's quite a lot of tokens or enemies. We've got some of the larger monsters. We've got giant centipede. Some of these you will recognise from Dungeons and Dragons, but obviously copyrighted names means they've had to change the names. So you've got a giant leech here. You may recognise that one. But yeah, so we've got our typical orcs, wind elementals, blood demons, bandits, goblins, trolls, you know, all the fun stuff. But there are probably over 100 in here easily. Yeah, just some amazing monsters, and I can't wait to start fighting them all. They've got these color coding on here. That's not anything to do with the monsters. That is the so they know when they're packaging that there should be one green, one blue, one purple, and so on of each, to try and make sure that we don't get anything missing. More and more. So yeah, a lot of monsters. Obviously there are duplicates. You've got froglings, a couple of them. You've got, obviously you're going to have like 5 or 6 goblins. Some of them you're going to have less. We do have for the heroes as well, we do have tokens for them as well, so we can make sure that we can play as our characters. So plenty of those. Now that is base game. I know I did say I'll try and separate the queen from the base. A little hard to do when we're working through so much, so I think what I'll do instead is just go through it, and anything that is queen I will say this is queen. If you want this, make sure to order a copy of the queen version. So this one, no, that's just some protective or some dust, that's fine, that's from printing and cutting, so no marks on it. So tiles, they're double-sided, but they're not double-sided, like it's the same art on both sides, so there's no need to worry about what side you're using. Obviously I always find that where it's been cut you get like a slight rounded edge on the top and more of a sharper edge on the bottom. We've got them popping out already, so nice and easy to pop out, which is a good sign. The numbers on each tile determines, when you draw from your exploration deck, it will tell you what tile to use. It does show a picture, but it will tell you what to use, and also the quest will tell you what specific tiles to put in that deck before shuffling it up and using it for the dungeons. So dungeons are made out of specific things, but we've got a dead body here, or plenty of dead bodies. We've got a statue, we've got crates. Now I know some people don't like furniture on their tiles, bodies and things like that. They'd rather have just the flooring, and then they can add for their own quests. Definitely not a problem. I think what would have been a good idea is for the flip side to have been that. So you get one side that you use for the room as described, if it has the furniture in there and whatever. If you're using custom quests, then it would have been cool if some of these elements were missing. Wouldn't have been too hard to do. It would have taken extra time, obviously. I can understand why it wasn't done. But assuming these were designed with layers, you just take off the layer that makes up the warrior and the blood, or the the crates and the boxes and the statues and things like that, and you have a plain side. Michael, if you do a further expansion or any other reprints of the game, possible suggestion for you. So we've got here a rickety old bridge. We've got a built-in trap, some fallen stones. We can see here we've got some, what are they, sarcophagi type things. We've got a treasure chest, a little scroll on a desk of some kind, a bookshelf, somebody working outside. We've got some creeping vines by the looks of it. So for rooms, we've got another tomb. We've got some treasure chests, some statues, we've got pillars in the corner. Great artwork, very nicely dressed dungeons. Me personally, having this in doesn't bother me. All I would do, because I play solo anyway, is if I was making my own quest, I would just assume that the pillars aren't there, the treasure chest isn't there, whatever, and I can put my own furniture in. I can put furniture over the top if I want different furniture there, doesn't bother me. My point was just that some people prefer the rooms to look like this, and then they'll add their own stuff in. So we've got spike traps. Everything that is in a room, by the way, can be searched during the quests. There is a thing for that. So again, double-sided. I know the majority of the room tiles are not double-sided, but the named rooms are. So we've got a large room here with these couple of sarcophagi in the middle. If we flip it over, you can see it's now the ancient throne room. So we've got a throne with some statues and stuff, a couple of chests. So that one was the large tomb. So yeah, the large rooms double-sided, the other ones, the smaller ones, not. So we've got a bridge there. Again, just some lovely artwork. So that's all for the first inclusive expansion. It's just a small quest expansion, nothing as big as what the false prophet is. These are the tiles for the main game, the main quest line. Get rid of these sticker things. So we've got all sorts of different tiles. You've got your rooms, obviously your 4x4s and upwards. You may get 2x2s, I'm not entirely sure, but to me that would be a corridor. So your rooms are 4x4s, they are symbolised with an R before the number. And corridors, obviously we've got various shapes. The majority of them are going to be single length corridors. Apologies for that sound. But yeah, so we've got some L bends, or some corners, C13, C14. Again, they're not double-sided, but the larger the named rooms will be. So we've got a couple more rooms there. We've got, looks like a torture rack or some sort of really bad bed. We've got a well, we've got some crates, we've got a desk and a treasure chest, bookshelf. We've got a cool grid type room, not sure what that is, but some sort of tiles. We've got a dead end corridor. We've got the starting tile, so it does have start written on there, so you'll start outside the dungeon and make your way in. I think that's pretty cool. Oh, the start tile is double-sided. So the Ancient Lands, that's the expansion, I think. That's the name of it, the Ancient Lands. So we've got the Ancient Lands start tile as well. So like I said, it is an inclusive expansion. So Ancient Lands, and then the main one. So we've got the Lone Tomb and the Chamber of Reverence. Again, some treasure chests. We've got a sacrifice in the middle of there. Statue of some kind of god or something, some gems, and a desk. So yeah, really cool there. And then obviously this one's a little bit more plain, but it does have a little tomb up on the top there. Large room here, but it's not a named one, so this is our 5B. So it's not double-sided, or it is double-sided, but it's not alternate art-sided. We've got more corpses. couple more rooms here. These are, I think they call them boss rooms. So at some point, this is the room that you are looking for, and this is where you'll find your end your quest with it. We've got the fountain room, the throne room, and the reverse. This is cool. I like this. So we've got this lava bridge going across the lava river, stone bridge, sorry. And then we've got obviously a couple of treasure chests. So one thing I have noticed is, I won't go back through it, but I think the art is different, but the layout is very similar to some of the other named rooms. So we've got the throne room here. I think it was on this one that I noticed it. Nope, this one. So this one looks very much like the one from the Lost Lands, where we had the throne room with the 2 statue chairs here and there, and then the stairs. So it looks like they've just changed the art, which perfectly fine. The layout is just similar. Just a note of observance note there. So yeah, the throne room, we've got the fountain room. Then we've got some more rooms. We've got an odd-shaped room here. There aren't many of these ones. We do get the rooms where they have sort of the entrance area and then the room. So it's coming off of the corridors into the room. We've got a cross section. More rooms, plenty of boards in this, guys. I think it's just for these type of tiles, not including the Lost Land ones. I think it's about 52 tiles, maybe something like that. I think it's the equivalent to a deck of cards, is how it was originally designed for the print and play. You could use a deck of poker cards for it, so a 52 deck of cards would make sense. We've got R21, R20, but saying that, I don't know if it was increased for this because he could do the exploration cards, so he may have made more. Again, falling out, which is brilliant. It means they're easy to pop and you're not going to get paper tearing. That being said, do be careful when you pop these out, just to make sure that you don't tear right into the tiles. But yeah, plenty of room, guys. I'm going to speed through these a little bit just so we can get into the core of the game. Oh, I thought that was a start tile then, but no, it's just another, just got a staircase on it. We've got like a dining room, we've got a pillar room, and a really big room. This one looks like a sultan's kind of room, or some rich guy's room. We've got his bed here, and then sofa around this circle area for a meeting, but that is just a single room. Okay, so next we have this map. Now I'm not going to be able to unfold this fully, but it is the inclusive version of the neoprene map that I showed you. Obviously single-sided. It is a fold out, but I would say this is a lot easier to read than the neoprene mat. I will probably use this one to play on. Yes, it's more likely to get damaged through play, but it's so much easier to read the place names, the numbers. Obviously with neoprene, with it being printed on a fabric, it tends to bleed and blur slightly. You're never going to get a 100% sharp lines. So yeah, you'll notice that some of the places have these coloured dots next to them. They are to symbolise what quests. So we've got 2 and 10 here, so blue 2 or turquoise 2, whatever that is. If you're in Irondale, you can pick up that quest. We can pick up quest 1, 3 and 4. White, I believe, is everywhere. So wherever you are, you can pick up a white quest. We've got red, obviously we've got the surrounding area here. So this area, or this dungeon, or this quest can be picked up whether you're in Kael'Kirk or Freyfell. They can both do it because you've got 4, 1 and 14. So yeah, you can get there a little bit easier, or it's got different quests in that same location. So yeah, that's the board. Very, very nice artwork on that. And now for the bones of everything. So all of that there, as far as I'm aware, is all core game stuff. That comes if you buy the Knave version. I'll quickly go through the Queen stuff so we can get out of the way. So 3D doors. We got close and we have open. These are Queen Edition. If you buy the cheaper version, you won't get these. You get the punch out cardboard doors instead, which isn't a problem. This is just if you like that more 3D element to your games. Now I will say, one thing I noticed with this, I love this, the slope down to how thin this goes along the door. Now if you play Hero Quest or games similar to that, when you place a door and it's got a 5mm or 3mm base to it, and it takes up half a square, and you try and put a hero on there, you've got this hero, if we can find our guy, he'll be standing at an angle like this. With it being flat like this, it's going to be much more easier to keep him looking upright. So yeah, I really love that. It's still a little thick on there, which is great. It means you're not going to snap the edges off, and this does feel like strong, good plastic as well. So yeah, doors for the Queen. I believe sleeves are Queen, but don't quote me on that. I might be wrong on that, but I think the sleeves are part of the Queen version. We've got a bag of coins. So this is the currency. It is literally called coins in the game. Most of the time you'll just keep track of it on paper, but I like the idea of having these for a bit more of a role play thing. You get the leather pouch to put them in, again, Queen. So you can put your coins, say your amount of money, the money that you have in this, and then keep the rest inside a zippy bag or something that you will then add to it or take out and add back as you spend and make money. So cool idea to get a little bit more immersive with it, that you're pulling your money out and you can see exactly how much you have left, like you do in real life. Unfortunately, that is what my wallet probably looks like right now. Yeah. And I think for the Queen Edition you also get a dice tray. So a small dice tray, but it is a nice little extra. If we can get into it, there it is. So it's one of these, really cool, really easy, pop up, fold flat. It's nice velvet on the inside, leather, or possibly a faux leather on the outside. But yeah, you just pop the corners together and you've got yourself a little dice tray. Sleeves for all the cards. There are enough sleeves in this to cover all the cards. But again, I believe, I may be wrong, but I believe these are only with the Queen. Everything else in here, bar any further sleeves that we find, are for the Knave version. So we've got a bag here. This is what you will put your initiative tokens in during play. We've got the initiative tokens here and a smaller one. So we've got white for the heroes, black for the enemies, and the rules will tell you how many you put in, but it's basically one per hero, one per enemy, extra if you've managed to ambush, or if you have been ambushed, then the enemies will get extra on the first round, and then it will be normal. And basically you draw them out one at a time, and you then choose which of the monsters moves for that token. This little one, smaller one, pops into this little base, and I believe this stuff is just a protective backing from the plastic, so you can peel that off. But yeah, you pop that into the base, and this is what you move around on your world map, the hex grid. So this represents where the party is moving to, where they currently are. We've got dice, sorry, not dice, we've got some small wooden cubes here, coloured, more red. We've got 4 blue, 4 yellow, and then 8 red and a black. I'm not 100% sure what these are for, but I think they are tracking things like HP and mana, possibly. Everything should fit back in the box. Obviously dungeon tiles, they're gonna somehow fit in here. I'll probably take this top part out, put all the tiles in, and then run it separate. So we've got a dice here. So this is to see where you've been hit. So we've got head, torso, leg, another torso, because obviously, you know, you're more likely to get hit on the torso, and arm. Is that right? So we've got 1, 2, 3 torso, 1 arm, 1 leg, 1 head. And then, as I said, it is what I call the D20 system. So we've got a bunch of dice here, plus 2 other coloured D6 for when you're rolling. I believe this is X and Y to determine where you place certain things within a room. X being your horizontal axis, and then Y being your vertical. So if you 6 across and then 6 up, if you get, let's say, a 3 and a 4, you come 3 squares in and then 4 squares up. I think there may be other uses for them as well within the game, but yeah, so bag of dice, and obviously you can use your own dice if you want to. I don't mind the look of the black dice, but I do have a favourite set of dice that I may be using instead. Ziploc bags. Now this is a really cool thing. So obviously when you punch out all your cardboard standees, you need somewhere to put them. So included are these bags, and they are named. So we've got one for the undead, we've got magic, we've got heroes, bandits and brigands, dark elves, we've got mercenaries, beasts, reptiles and doors, and then orcs and goblins. So yeah, plenty of baggies to put all your standees in. I love this, I love Ziploc bags, they are so useful. That's under there. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 large stands for the bigger monsters. So these are the ones, I think they have like a little ridge inside. It does tend to push in on the cardboard a little bit, and when you're pushing in, it can sort of peel the cardboard up. I prefer the ones where they have like a roundage, and so the round parts will just sort of touch rather than be spaced with a thing in the middle. But you know, obviously different manufacturers do different things. But yeah, so you've got some standees, and then we've got a huge bag of standees. I don't think there's enough here, 1 per model, but you can buy more on the website. If you don't want to damage them pulling them in and out, then obviously that may be something you want to do. I'm hoping to use a bunch of my Hero Quest monsters, Dungeons and Dragons monsters. I've got some Zombicide stuff. I think my Warhammer Cursed City might be a little bit too out of scale. But yeah, I'm looking to play my game with 3D miniatures. So I may not use the standees. Obviously some monsters that I don't have, I'm going to have to, but you know, hopefully I can replace them with the miniatures. So we pull this out. That is some thick plastic. I don't think I've had a tray in a box game that's been that thick of plastic before. Usually it's very flimsy things. So we've got the stuff that you don't eat, the forbidden sugar. What we've got here, so we've got settlement cards. So we'll have a quick look through these. I'm not going to go through all the cards, guys, because that is a lot of cards. But yeah, so we've got here, just make sure, yeah, they are different. So we've got settlement cards. So obviously these will tell you what is available in each settlement. They are just reference cards. If you're staying in a settlement, this is what it will cost you per night. I'm not entirely sure if that is for the party or per hero. I'll have to check that up in the rule book, and if it's not in there, I will get in touch with somebody who knows. But yeah, so that's the you know, it tells you everything that's available. So Kael'Kirk, we've got blacksmith. The equipment availability is -2. The price is plus 10%. So when you go through your equipment cards or your lists, whatever the list price is, obviously you increase it by 10% if you're staying in Kael'Kirk. Kennel, see Companions Compendium. We've got Freyfeld, so the general store. They've got an arena, a blacksmith and a sick ward. So when you're in Freyfeld, you can go to the arena and fight for, I'm assuming, for money. Blacksmith, we've got a general store. So obviously these are places that you'll go to upgrade or buy new equipment and armor. Silver City is basically the capital city of the land, this particular area. So it's the capital city, so they've got basically everything that you need, including horse racing. Durbarim, Bernheim, we've got Whiteport, and even an outpost. So that's those. I'm gonna run out of space. I'm gonna have to keep hold of these so I can get them back in. But these are all just reference cards, these ones. So where I mentioned earlier that originally it was a very table heavy game, that is still the case, but it's been put into card format to make going through as many tables, as few tables as possible, make it a bit easier. But they do still have reference cards with some tables. So obviously we've got actions here, all the actions that you can do and the AP they cost, and then other actions and they cost more AP. We've got how to open doors and chests, or things for doors and chests. We've got end of turn, start of turn, basic enemy actions, enemy activation, and obviously the start of the basic enemy actions. So another thing about this game, guys, it is cooperative, but it's also solo playable, which is why I love this, because I don't have friends that play these kind of things. They prefer video games over tabletop games, and I'm not overly sociable, so trying to make new friends is a no-no. So solo play games, awesome, and that is exactly what this is. You don't need a GM. It's basically a tabletop role-playing game without the role-playing and without the games master, without the GM. I say without the role-playing. You can put it in if you want, if you're playing as a group. Solo, you just sort of, you go to a town and you just imagine that you're doing stuff there. Okay, I'm going to buy this from this shop and whatever, but you don't have to role-play with the shopkeeper unless your group wants to do that. Humanoids with close combat weapons and with missile weapons. We've got beasts and lower undead, higher undead, and magic users. So how to use them, stats and everything else. Let's get that on here. Get them back in. We'll get the settlement cards back in. I don't want to lose any of this. So that is them.